Oh, let's not waste any time. Let's try to beat this in one go. Texting and driving. Are you serious? So you guys are unaware that the people behind the original Burnout games are releasing a game this month, I think this month, that literally borrows very heavily off of the old Burnout formula. You guys are serious, right? I'm doing that doesn't keep in touch with today's gaming, because all it's brought me is disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. So basically, a Burnout successor. A modern generation Burnout successor, and I'm the only one that knows about it. I will do you guys a courtesy and pause the stream for about 2 minutes to kind of just go out there. I mean, if you don't really care about Burnout, then don't worry about it. It's not for you. But if you okay, cool. I mean, whatever. I'm kind of excited, but I'm gonna wait and see what goes on.
Thank you. And welcome. And in today's incredibly topical show, Neil Armstrong walks on the moon. Some angry cyclists.
I see.
And I throw a sandwich out of the window. All that is to come. But first, Aston Martin has just launched a new car.
Must be nice.
Here's Richard Hammond to tell us all about it.
They do make a nice car.
This is the new V8 Vantage. And, well, it's not an ugly car, is it?
No, I wouldn't say it's ugly.
I mean, I'm not sure about this colour. You'd be on the phone to your doctor if your wee came out like this, but the shape itself is stunning. This is one of those superstar cars that leave a wake of dropped jaws and phone camera flashes. And as the smallest, hunchiest, sportiest car in the Aston lineup, it's fast too.
I would imagine so.
Go!
Okay, I'm about to say, where am I in the freaking...
0 to 60 takes 3.5 seconds. Are you ready?
Fastest car lap.
Oh, God.
Note to self, slow down. Epic Store exclusive. Wow. Then I'll just wait then. But anyways, I thought I was gonna bring. I thought I should bring that up anyway, because now instead of being disappointed left and right, left and right, I decided to watch those videos on, like, you know, top new games coming out for April 2019, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Oh, here we go. Oh. Top speed, 195.
Cool.
But here's the thing. Astons have always been beautiful and fast in a straight line. But when you're making a sports car, that's the easy part. It was when you dug deeper under the skin into the areas you couldn't see that in the past they often came up short.
The trouble is, the company's never had the money or the manpower of Porsche or Ferrari, and you could sense that in their cars.
Yes.
They just didn't feel as well made or well engineered as some rivals.
That means they sold mainly to people listening to their hearts and not their heads. Because your heart says, I want an Aston, even when your head says that door doesn't fit properly.
But this is 2018. Good looks and speed aren't enough if bits are coming off in your hand. This car can't be nice to drive for an Aston. It can't be well made for an Aston. It's got to be good, full stop. Yeah, in an AMG, this engine doesn't make this noise. In a Merc, it's all power bass, whereas Aston Martin have added some British gravel to the mix.
I like that.
So, it's handsome, quick, tuneful, and feels well built. But now we come to the acid test. How the new Vantage handles corners.
So let's see what's what. We're off. It's built on an all-new chassis, a shorter version of the one under the DB11. And it's the first Aston Martin to be fitted with an electronic diff. A very expensive but very valuable weapon of war. Oh my god.
Oh my god, like, very expensive. It must be really expensive. You know, the car is nowhere near as fast.
Oh yeah.
When you do these freaking drifty things. I'm already done. Unless there's an achievement for like drifting 1,000 with this car.
Oh, for God's sake.
I knew it! Didn't I say it? I just said it. I just said it. I called it. I called it. I have to pause for a second. I just called it. It's like, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep drifting. I already won. I'm just gonna keep drifting in case there's an achievement for 1,000. And lo and behold, nailed it.
It really is. It's been set
It'd
up
be a
by
good option.
a man who used to work at
It'd be a good
suspension.
option if there was an achievement relevant to a game that would kind of like flash in the screen like, hey, you can get this achievement now. You want to see the challenge? You know, rather than just guess. Because I would have,
Lotus.
you know, edged towards,
You can tell.
you know, getting those achievements.
In the past, you could buy an Aston and love it, but still know deep down that a 911 was a better car. With this new Vantage, that gap has been closed to a point where it doesn't matter.
It's not just brilliant for an Aston Martin. It's brilliant, full stop.
Abby. How well does it do it in the Hippodrome?
I can see her.
Can you really?
I really can see her. I agree with you on that. It's a brilliant, brilliant car. But one thing I ought to mention, you know all that tech inside it? Yeah. That is Mercedes stuff, but it's last generation Mercedes stuff.
Yes, but
they're
it's
fitting.
still better than all the stuff that Aston used to fit.
That's true.
Is it not?
No, that is true. And the other thing, you expressed surprise that it's got that AMG engine. But you've got to remember the Aston V12 they've been using for years. That's German.
Well, it's made in Germany.
Yes.
That makes
Yes.
it sort of German, doesn't it?
No. It's
If
where
you're
it's
if you're
designed and
Asian but you're born in Germany, you're German. By whatever.
Let's not get bogged down with
Nationality.
what's German and what's not. The
Not
point
race.
is, okay, unlike the previous Vantage, that is way, way more than a pretty face. I mean, a lot more. But now let's find how fast...
It doesn't apply. It's something different. Whatever. If both your parents are Asian, you're born into you're made in an Asian factory with Asian ingredients in an Asian oven. No matter where you're born, but still. I was going somewhere with this, I promise.
And already we're at the drop down into your name here.
Shit, yeah.
Working away there at that unusual.
I wonder if there's an achievement here.
Square steering wheel.
I'm gonna try like there is an achievement.
Coming in wide for old lady's house, keeping it neat round there, and now the short squirt down to substation.
I fucking failed. As long as I make gold.
It does. Like an old-fashioned racing car, moving around. It's a good-looking lap, that. Right, let's find out where it ended up on our lap board, shall we? Here we go. Look at exactly the same speed as a 911 GT3 RS.
Yeah, when you think the Aston doesn't have a massive wing and scaffolding in the back, that is pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah, but never mind that. Look, it's no faster than a BMW M5.
Yes, but I think what that says, James, is the M5 is seriously quick.
Now, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the first landings on the moon, and I thought I should take a little celebratory look back at that truly historic mission.
James, this isn't a grand tour of whatever is in your head. You do know that.
No, but I promise there will be some cars in this film. Eventually.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
No. Did they really have such a sophisticated system?
President Kennedy
Enough?
made that speech to Congress in 1961. He gave the scientists at NASA a planet-sized headache. Nevertheless, the brains at NASA knuckled down and throughout the 1960s set about developing and testing the rockets and the technology that would be needed to crack this monumental nut. However, machinery on its own was not enough. Equally important to the success of the space program were the astronauts. Now, these men were generally of a type. They were fighter jocks and test pilots, and they were very familiar with moving around at very high speed. So, and I did promise we'd get some cars into this, when it came to moving around on the face of the Earth, there was one car they favoured above all others.
Oh, Corvettes.
The Corvette, America's premier sports car.
Away. Yes, John Glenn, holder of supersonic flight records and the first American to orbit the Earth, drove this.
Nice. Oh, that was supposed to be a drift.
Here comes a really dangerous bend. I'm winning.
You're not really racing with anybody.
Oh no!
Oh no, indeed. Well, at least I won.
The big love-in between the American astronaut and the Corvette started with Alan Shepard, the first American in space in 1961. And on his safe return to Earth, he was given a free Corvette by General Motors. A sort of medal.
It looks nice on the inside.
By 1969, just inside Kennedy's deadline, NASA was ready to try landing some men on the moon. The astronauts chosen were Buzz Aldrin, who drove a Corvette, Neil Armstrong, who drove a Corvette, and Mike Collins, who drove a Beetle. Presumably that's why they left him in the command module and didn't let him walk on the lunar surface.
Eagle Houston, we have you now. Do you read over? Loud and clear.
When the astronauts finally approached the surface of the moon, the landing was not without drama.
Okay, all flight controllers, gonna go for landing.
The designated spot was full of craters,
Eagle Houston, you're a go for landing.
forcing Armstrong to fly manually and look for another place to set down.
4 forward, drifting to the right a little. Okay, engine stop. Post control, both autos, these and engine command override off. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
When they finally landed, they had just 20 seconds of fuel remaining. But no matter, they were down on the moon.
That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
Back on Earth, a hero's welcome awaited. And once he got home, Armstrong, like so many astronauts, would swap the seat in his spacecraft for a seat in a Corvette.
Ah, the nicest of all the fucking Corvettes. The Stingrays. They are so beautiful. The back is my favorite.
And when I say Corvette, I mean this actual Corvette. This one. This was his. This is Neil Armstrong's Corvette.
Yeah.
His hands were here, he looked at the instruments like that. He touched that. Neil Armstrong. The first person to set foot somewhere other than the Earth.
And we're gonna freaking we're gonna crash this car.
Let's go. Go! Get faster. The owner of this car, when he realised what it was he'd found, decided not to restore it. He would leave it exactly as it was. He would just do enough to make it run. So he hasn't done the paint, he hasn't replaced bits in here. This is all exactly as he found it. There's patina on the bonnet there. There's a scuffed bit on the door. It's real. Hello, Rev Counter. Neil Armstrong's looked at you, hasn't he? Oh, I think a Huey is coming. There's Mr. Huey, there's the evocative wump. Those are the two sounds of the 60s, aren't they? That wump and the sound of Neil Armstrong speaking from the moon. Neil Armstrong's Chevrolet Corvette.
That must be worth a fortune.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I know. I don't like them either.
What an honor.
I would lean to choose not to support them, no matter what the game. I would say lean, not completely avoid.
Hold on. What's gone wrong with us?
I feel the same way about.
They don't go to the moon anymore.
Oh,
No, they used to be
welcome to
rock
the stream. It's the Grand Tour game, as you can see on the top. I feel the same way about Ubisoft.
If you you think about it, they would drive their Corvettes into town, get hammered, get chlamydia, and the next morning they'd be upside down in a starfighter. Anyway, that's enough about space now. I want to move it on because I came into the office the other day and told these two that the Citroen C3 Aircross that I'd been driving was very good, and they said it wasn't.
Because it isn't.
Yes, it is, and I decided to prove that it is by doing one of those very thorough tests where we cover all the things that matter in a car of this type.
Ooh.
No, wait a minute. Is this going to be one of those stupid films where you do ridiculous tests to discover if a car can, I don't know, drive faster than itself?
No. This is the car in question. It's a 5-seater, front-wheel drive hatchback.
I like hatchbacks.
Prices start at £14,720, and it looks rather funky.
It does.
With those splashes of orange paint here and there.
You know, I'm a sucker for a car
It's
that
also
has
easy to see
distinguishable
outside because
features.
The windows are made from glass, and all the controls fall easily to hand because they're on the dashboard or the steering wheel rather than under the carpet in the boot. Go.
I got okay, I gotta just beat the time limit. Anyways, yeah, I do like these little, like, weird cars. Would I own one? Probably. I'm kind of disappointed. You know, if there's anything I don't like about my Maxima, is that it has no character. The one thing I do like is that it's a sleeper. Well, it's not, obviously I'm not going to tune it, but it's punchy as hell. It's a lot more punchy since I fixed it. And I'm glad it has the 5-speed automatic rather than a CVT or 4-speed automatic. The car is a very punchy. Like, you would never know if you were.
Oh, go. Oh!
It's almost as punchy as my Firebird. Almost. Ubisoft,
But you may be wondering what makes it so special. Well, to find out, I've decided to break the test down into segments so that all the important questions
Don't tell me.
can be answered.
Is it faster than itself? What does that mean?
To find out, we've come here to the banked Millbrook Bowl in Bedfordshire. Citroën say that because the quite small 1.2
Three-cylinder
engine in this particular version of the Aircross is turbocharged, it produces 128 horsepower. And now it's time to see what that means in terms of top speed.
If you gear it right, you
go.
can go pretty fast.
No.
It's a pretty light car.
Fast.
Anyways. Oh. Just Kanachi making his faces. I would love to drive in something like this. Banked road. It would feel.
So can it do better?
Can it do better?
Okay, what I've done now is hooked up to the back end of a Bentley Bentayga. Now, this is a car with a top speed of 180 miles an hour.
You gonna draft?
What it's doing is it's punching a hole in the air for me.
Draft.
And I'm driving along in a vacuum.
It's drafting.
So that should mean I go faster. Let's find out.
You're drafting. Okay.
Go. Speed is the answer. There we go, speed up again now. God, truth, it's like being in Bluebird. My only worry is that I just saw a single magpie, and it is Friday the 13th as I do this. So now I'm going to ease out of this dangerous situation.
Is he easy to park? That's a good question. No.
If the space is smaller than the aircross, then the answer is no.
If I were to take my sweet ass time,
Go.
go a little back, turn the wheel,